I wore my HBCU girls rock because HBCU girls do rock. I went to FAMU, as you can see the colors. Don't play with us. Hey you guys, welcome back to Myammee TV. Today I'm doing a new review of the new Harriet Tubman movie that just came out today. Yes, I had to go see that ASAP quickly. Well, it came out last night actually, and I didn't want to go last night because I felt like it was going to be like too crowded. I want to go in the daytime when there's nobody there. So I went there this morning, watched it, and it has just been overpowering my whole day, mental wise. But before I jump into the review and everything else I want to go ahead and reference in this video, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell because that notification bell alerts you when I throw up a video just out of the blue. You know what I mean? So no further ado, let's get into the review. So overall, the movie was amazing. The movie was phenomenal. The cast was amazing. The story and the flow of the movie was amazing. This movie should be getting an Oscar. It should be getting any other awards. I don't even know the awards names right now, but all of the awards it should get. It should be in schools. This is how it should have been done. And I'm grateful that I was able to watch it in this generation because film is just a blessing. So I hope you guys go watch it. I don't know what day this is for you, but today it is November 1st and 2019. And I hope you watch the movie. I really do. So this review really has so many components. It's all about, of course, the review of the movie, how I felt about the entire movie, the characters and stuff like that. But then I'm going to go into how I feel as a woman of God watching this movie. You know what I mean? As a black woman in America today and how I feel today as a black woman in America. I caught some things that were rooted in this movie that has traveled along the way and it has been passed on to generations that I saw from this movie. So this review is so full. It's not even enough time to talk about this review. You have to go watch this movie. So the movie opens up with love. Don't you love? Like I love love. But anyway, so it opens up with love. Harriet Tubman is in love. She is with this guy. Come to find out he got this paperwork to make sure they get married. She's still a slave on a plantation, surrounded by her family with these masters. But the free husband gets to come on the property. And now Harriet Tubman, of course, she is where her name was Minty at the time. Before she got her name switched over to Harriet Tubman. But her husband was free. He wasn't a slave. She was. So if they were to have a baby, the kids were going to have to be a slave as well. So they did not have kids by that time of them getting married or even looking forward to have the kids because she wasn't free. So the husband was allowed to be on the property here and there. I'm like, okay, this was the root of how black love supposed to be. Like, this is what black love is. This is what black men supposed to do. They're supposed to stick by our side no matter how much we feel like we are slaves in this world today in America in 2019 or whatever we got going on. And then we get down in a movie. It changed for me. But I just loved everything about how the movie opened up. Every character in this movie was amazing, okay? Every character. And of course, the Harriet Tubman character, first of all, I believe that she was Harriet Tubman in this movie. Like, I felt that. Like, she did such a good job. Now, Harriet Tubman character was played by Cynthia Erivo, I believe. I don't know if I'm pronouncing her last name right. But she is a British actor. And she did such a phenomenal job with her accents because she's British. So she has that British accent. So she did such a phenomenal job with her accent. She did a great job with her whole vibe and her persona of a slave. And then when she turned into the Harriet Tubman character, when she became from, slave mentality versus somebody who knows who she is now and her strength and all of that when she turned into the Harriet Tubman character. So to see her switched the roles into two different type of people. Like, that was dope. Like, I felt like this girl gonna get an Oscar for this movie. If she don't get an Oscar, something is wrong, because she really, 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 really did such a great job. Janelle Monáe played Marie so amazing. So shout out to Janelle. First of all, shout out to the whole cast. But Janelle Monáe played such an amazing character as Marie from the beginning. When she told her, I was born free. I'm sorry, I can't relate to your pain or your struggles or whatever the case is. Like, even that poise that she had, like how she just carried herself in the movie, like, I believe she was a free slave. Like, she didn't know nothing about no beatings. She understood that it was painful, but she couldn't really understand. You know what I mean? But towards the end, how she played her part and told the guy, like, you was a sellout. Like, just having that strong sense of a black woman, like, that's who we are. You know what I mean? No matter if we was free or slaved, we still gonna be us. We have that oomph that God has put inside of us, and we can't help that. It's inside of us, and nobody can say, oh, well, you can try to avoid it. Why you gotta be? No. That's who we are, and we have to embrace that. We have to stop not embracing that and letting it go as if it's something negative. That's who we are, and that's who we was created to be. So, the Michael Jackson boy, he looked just like Michael Jackson. His name was Henry Hunter Hall. Let me just tell you, sir, you did such an amazing job. And I swear, when I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, this boy looked like Michael Jackson. Like, the original Michael Jackson. But he played a role that, like, even towards the end, like how he jumped on her team. At first, I was like, oh my God, like, is he gonna turn on her and try to get that money? Because he only wanted $1 in the beginning of the movie. So I'm like, is he gonna turn on her? You know what I mean? But I know I had to trust the character to, like, chill out a little bit, because I know she was guided by her spirit. And I was like, well, gotta tell her that he need to, like, let him go. So I was like, she'll be okay. You know what I mean? Because sometimes we get real involved in the movie. Be like, girl, don't do this and don't do that. I was at peace. I'm like, she's a woman of God. She is real guided by God. Like, God is covering her for real. And he'll tell her to let him go when he need to. Omar Dorsey. Y'all know him. He playing Queen Sugar, okay? This character was such the opposite of Queen Sugar character. I just couldn't believe it, but he did such a good job. Like, we always have some of those in our culture. I think every culture has that, and I think every culture feels that way about those type of people within their culture. But this entire cast to me was amazing. The mom, the dad, the slave owner's son. I believed everything that he was really a son of a master, or whatever they call slave owner. The pastor was amazing in this movie. My God, like the cast, the entire cast, whoever did casting, thumbs up, because thumbs up casting. And we cannot forget about Leslie Odom Jr. Okay, he played such a black excellence type of character. And not only that, he helped. And I felt like his character made me feel like that's how we should be today with everybody in our society, in our culture, in our race. We should be ready and willing to help each other out. Like, it should be like that all the time. And of course, I know in the perfect world it should be, and I know it cannot be. But man, he made it feel so believable. Like, what if everybody who was above us, and of course, we have to become that as millennials to the next generation. But what if the people before us, and I mean our race as black people, be there for each other and help each other out and say, I'm going to do this for you and I'm going to do that for you. Like the Marie character as well, Janelle Monáe. Like, I'm going to help you with this and I'm going to give you this and get you on your feet. Just to, like, that, we lost that. We have lost that as Black America. We don't have that collectively. I see where it starts at. I see where Black America has been hindered and it has been passed on to generations. Because back then, if one, I'm going to tell on you because I want to save my life. There was a moment in the movie where the slave owner's son got to Harriet Tubman's sister. And he threatened her like, I'm going to tell your children. So you better tell me what's going on, who it is, and where she at. Or what's going on, whatever. Where's the brothers? You know what I mean? And she just blurted out like, oh, it's Harriet, Minty. Because we were so afraid of getting beaten. We were so afraid of being killed. We were so afraid of our kids being killed. And they already had witnessed so much. Like the kids back then, if they were adults, as they grew up, they had to pass that hurt and that pain on to the next generation, which went to the next and went to the next and went to the next and went to the next. But they witnessed so much. They seen it firsthand. You know what I mean? So they passed it on, that fear of that. They seen people leave. They seen people choose themselves over anybody else. They seen the characters like the guy from Queen Sugar. They seen those type of characters versus the other characters like, you know what I mean? So when you see that and it gets passed on to generations, you see why sometimes they say, well, black people, we don't stick together. You know what I mean? We don't want to be under the same roof and help each other out. We don't want to be there to help a hand in hand, help a helping hand, Jesus. Help a helping hand to others. I still think I did it wrong. But to help others in need. You know what I mean? Who's doing something, who's trying to change things, who's trying to shake up some stuff, and just see that they're actually working hard. You know what I mean? So I feel like we've lost that. And if we get that back, man, if we get that back, like what I seen on that film when they went to the free side, we get partial of that back. Because at one point, towards the end, when it was time to go to Canada, she told all of them, like, y'all being real snobby. In so many words, this is my words. Y'all being real snobby. Y'all have got comfortable. Y'all sitting here trying to wait for A, B, C, D, F, G. No, we need to go fight. We need to go get these people out of we need to bring them over the line, make sure they're free. And they're like, Harriet, like, it's 600 miles. She's like, so what? That's our family. Like, that's our people. They cannot be left behind. There's so many references in this movie on what we see today as Black America. How we see our men and why we're so angry and why we're not even so angry. I guess some people say Black women, we're so angry and all of this stuff. This movie made you realize we take up for so much. We have to be the mom, the dad, the strong one, all of it. We have to sit back. They used to have to sit back and watch their men give in. They used to have to sit back, get raped, knowing their husband know that. The husband know that the slave owner is with the woman or with the wife, right? And the husband has to sit there and not fight for her. You have to sit back and get threatened from the slave master that the kid that we just had together is really nothing. You know what I mean? Like, Black women have faced so much, and it has ran over into generation, into generation, into generation, into generation, into generation. We just sick and tired of just the nonsense. We just don't have no bone in us to just sit there and take nonsense. So sometimes we are a little bit more angry than we should be, because look at where we come from. And you think it should be better because we're in 2019, but it's not better because it's in different forms. There's a saying that says something about the most uncovered woman, the most, I have to find it, but something about the woman who is not protected, the most unprotected person in the world is the Black woman. And that hit because that quote applies to this movie, and we get to see our ancestors and what they went through. You hear me? Like, they went through a lot. And not even the freed ones, because the freed ones went through a little time too when the act came out, like the Slave Act came out. So the movie goes forward and she gets free. She meets up with Marie and all of them. She get her papers. She come back because she wanted to come back for her husband. Okay? her doggone husband, because he was back. Even though he was free, he didn't want to come with her because she didn't want him to come with her because she didn't want him to lose his papers of being free, because if they would have got caught, he would have been a slave too. She went back to go get him because she like, oh, if I came through with myself, I can come through now with him. So she goes back, and he's remarried to someone else because he thought she was dead. But then at the same time, he got the messages from the other guys too. So he just got remarried. Thought she was just long and gone, right? And dead too at the same time. But so at the end of it all, she was just like, oh, and your new wife pregnant too? And he's like, yeah. Like, so he told her everything. Like, I thought you was dead, da 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 da. And at the end of it all, she came back for him. She had a suit for him and everything, like, and he was gone with the wind with somebody else. So at this point in the movie, she goes to God and say, God, like, you know, why did I even have the fire to even come back for this man? And this man married with a baby. Like, what am I going to do now? Like, why did I even come back here? Why? And her purpose was revealed right away after she prayed. Her purpose was revealed right away when she found out there was more people who needed to be free. And sometimes it takes you to go through some craziness to understand what your purpose is. And sometimes it ain't just all about you either. It's really about everybody else that God needs you to do and go back and lend a hand and help and give your service and be there for others, and whatever that may be in some type of form or fashion. You have a talent, you have a gift to be able to do that as well. So I took that as, no matter how crazy things come out, everything is used precisely to be worked out for the good. It may not be working for your good in the moment, because you're like, what is this storm? Like, what is this nonsense? This can't be for no good. But then it ends up being for your good. You just don't see it yet. So that was a good part of the movie. I love that part because she discovered her purpose in the midst of being heartbroken. And why not? That was the perfect moment. And that was her drive, her family, and others. And it just went on and on and on and on and on. Then in the movie, Marie says this. She says this. What's a man to a woman who's touched by God? What's a man to a woman who's touched by God? And that was just to help her as she got over the whole thing about her husband. Ma'am, you touched by God. You gonna be good no matter what. That's just one man. Others or he will come. The one for you is on his way because you touched by God. All will fall in line, in time, on time. Like, that line for me was like everything. Okay, I don't know about none of y'all, but for me, it worked for me. So as the movie continues to go, it shows that Black women, we can do anything. We can do everything the man can do. We had to do that. Not only did we have to sleep with the slave master, we had to clean up the doggone house if we were in the house. We had to come back out, be with our families, take care of our kids, soothe our husbands who are not even a slave master, knowing our husband know we getting raped and having sex with the doggone slave master, go in the fields and work, do some stuff while the husbands are healing and the boyfriends are healing because they've been whipped and chained and beaten and stuff like that. We had to take up so much. That's why today the Black woman is who the Black woman is today. We are strong. We are still resilient. We are still fighters. We are still, if the head rolling is today, I guess back then it was just like straight on, I don't know what it was back then, but now it's the head rolling. But it's the same thing. Same thing, different generation. We strong and we still facing that. We still facing our men going through stuff in America. we still facing our men watching us not be loved right, or not them being there for us. We're still facing all of that stuff that's in this movie. And she was freeing so many slaves, y'all. Okay, she was freeing so many slaves that are stealing so many slaves, or people, taking a slave. They thought she was a white man with a black face. Like a white man was doing that. Not a black man couldn't do it. Definitely not no woman could do that. Definitely not no black woman can do it. A white man could do it. That's how many people she was freeing. And she was doing it like it was nothing. And that's what we do. That's what Black Girl Magic is, by the way. For the record, just letting you know. We do things effortlessly. So, that was bound to watch. So, there was another part in the movie that shows how strategic God is. And he will use everything, every situation to help. Where the light-skinned slave came and said, can you take me with you? But if it wasn't for the light-skinned slave that looked like her slave owner, they wouldn't have never got over that bridge. But she had to be birthed out of that to be there at the time to help Harriet and everybody else to get over that bridge. For the other slave owner to recognize her slave owner. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how strategic God is. Even in the midst of storms, all of that negativity was needed for a time at that moment. It all came together for that moment. Y'all, you hear me? God is so strategic. When the word says that everything works out for the good, everything works out for the good, because even though she was in slavery, the family that she was attached to, the son of the slave owner, she needed to have him there to be on this journey, okay? Her getting in trouble and getting her head knocked over at 13, so that concussion that she was in, a concussion for 2 months, that allowed her to have her closeness with God and have that voice with God and that relationship with God and that communication with God. And like I said, the slave owner's son was strategic. The slave owner's family was strategic for her. She's no way, none of this probably would have worked. And it probably could have, because God could use whatever he wanted to use. But he had to put her there. You know what I mean? He had to put her there, place her there on that field, in that family, to become who she was, so that she could inspire us today. Because I am inspired from this movie. I am tremendously inspired as a Black woman to be more resilient, to be more focused, to be more driven, to not be afraid to stand up what I feel and what God has directed me to do with my life, and to go step by step with it. And I've always done that, and I will continue to do it. And it was just a little sign to me that I have been personally praying for. So all of that was strategic for me. And guess what? For many others. And guess what? Before me, generations before me, who was touched by her, saved by her. How many families were, over 750 people were saved. Okay, you know how many families and generations that is was saved because of her. So that inspires me. What we complain about? You don't like this? Okay, change it. You want to do that? Okay, do it. What we complain about? So, but it was so evident that God was with her. And this movie, her whole God and spirit presence was phenomenal. I cried in so many scenes when she had those moments of passing out, or not even passing out, just getting inside of the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, and getting directed and getting, directed and, being told what to do. And she trusting that and knowing that God was going to be with her and knowing that God was going to show her when and how and what time and turn left, turn right. Like, that was so phenomenal to watch on TV. I mean, on screen. As a woman who believes in God, who believes in Jesus, when you have a real relationship, I'm sorry, guys. When you have a real relationship with God, like that's real life. Like you have to trust. For people out there who may not be on that level, or who's on the journey, or who not even there yet, who probably don't even believe. But that's how it is when you have to trust your gut, and you have to trust the thing that may just be, you may say, what in the world is this? For us, and that's what it really is. It's our gut and our spirit, and it's our compass. The scene when she was going through that water, you guys, I was in that movie bawling, because not only did the guy who left his wife to go be free, okay, whatever, he was about to turn back around and he was about to be killed, and he was about to take everybody else with him to get killed. When she got in there wanting to say, okay, well, nobody want to follow me, fine, we got to go. I'm going to show y'all how it's done. And that's the soul, and that's the black girl magic right there. You know what I mean? I'm going to show y'all how it's done, right? So she goes through the water, gun is up in the air, and she stops in the middle of the lake, in the pond. And she talks to God, and she's like, Lord, be with me. I wish I would have recorded that part. Like, I'm mad I couldn't rewind that and record it, but I can always go back and go watch the movie and get ready for that part, just to record that part, just for my own personal little phone, you know? And so I have that. But she walked in that water. She talked to God and said, God, be with me going through this water, doing this whole journey. Don't let this water succumb me. Like, I forgot what she said, but I know what she said, and I know what she meant. For her to stop right there. And then when she was done praying to him, she kept walking. As if that next step wasn't going to make her go underwater. Her next step was going to get her across that lake. And that's the type of... And everybody out there say amen, please, if you know what I mean. If you watched it and you felt that, just like the video right now and comment below, okay? But that part for me was one of the most powerful parts for me in the movie. And of course there was many, many other parts, but that was a part that, as a woman of God, as a believer, that's how it's done. That's how it's done. That's how it has to be done. No matter how much that water is right here. That water right here. Lord, the next 10 steps I'm finna make, I trust and I pray you cover me and giving me the strength that those next 10 steps ain't finna be deeper. That you gonna get me across this pond. You my Lord, you my Savior. I need you to do that for me. In Jesus' name, amen. And you walk still not knowing, but you trust that prayer just went through and he got you. Like, child, don't have me start preaching on this doggone film. I mean, on this review. But moving forward, now how the movie was when it came to the Underground Railroad, it really didn't show a lot of footage of, how they was going from plan A to plan B. Now the Harriet Tubman that we learned about in school versus this Harriet Tubman are two different women to me. Yes, we all know that she freed slaves, right? And we read in the history books, we had a test. That was just the question. We did the answer. But that was basically it. This movie needs to be shown in schools because it shows more. It's not just about she was freeing slaves. Like, it was more things surrounding that. Like, so many other lessons in this movie besides her just freeing slaves, and how they said it. It was how they set up the verbiage. Like, a lady who freed slaves. You know what I mean? Or it was an underground railroad. Not really a railroad, but some type of underground thing going on where they couldn't, I just felt like the school felt me, because that's not how I visualized Harriet Tubman up to this point. And yes, I could have read more about her in this new Google age, but I did not. I mean, when did we learn about her? In middle school, I believe, or was it elementary? And probably a little bit more in high school, but not like this. So in this movie, we see families being broken. We see families dealing with grief because of freedom. They're losing family because of freedom. You know what I mean? Like, that's an attachment that another black person can have Like, I'm losing family because they want to be better for themselves. You see where I'm going? You see where I'm going at? So that has rolled over to our society today. It still exists. Oh, you want to do better? You want to be better? Why? You trying to leave me and you want to be a free slave? You know what I mean? Like, it's thriving today. I went through that myself. You know what I mean? So I felt that. It's not about nobody trying to be better or free. Why don't you want to come? Her sister was like, I'm not going. Everybody don't want to fight. Everybody don't want to run. Everybody don't want to challenge nothing. Some people just want to be, and that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't knock the person who trying to run and trying to be free either. So it's still in our communities today, that whole mentality of trying to go somewhere than where they are not appreciated or what they feel like they deserve. You know what I mean? So, families were mourning. Families were grieving and mourning because people wanted to go to freedom. It wasn't even a funeral yet. They had to cry. They had to say goodbye because they could not probably would never see them again ever in life. You know what I mean? Like, we had to face that. The kids had to see abuse. The kids had to see fathers put their head down. The kids had to see mothers give in. The kids had to see so much. So the families were just completely broken, and somehow they still pulled together. And that's why I say we have to have that mentality today of how they were. They lost everything trying to fight for their friend. They left everything behind. They couldn't bring everything with them, and I mean materialistic stuff. It was all about family. It was all about love. It was all about the community. It was all about the people just sticking together. And I just wish we can have that today. And I know it's going to take a couple of more generations for it to be like eliminated and erased. But this movie just really showed what we need today. The end of the movie really showed that. The purpose of the whole entire movie, from her taking the slaves to the guy to get the papers, to them getting jobs when they get there and how they do their jobs, like the whole transition from slave to free. And then when the doggone Slave Act came and from the free ones was concerned, because just being black, man, like, oh, y'all. And then towards the end of the movie, you guys, it shows that we're always the bigger person. We're always the bigger person. We're always the more loving person. We're always doing what's more right. You know, like, but I always say, because we have God within us, so it's only someone, not everybody. Okay, not some people out here killing other people. You know what I mean? But as a people collective, we just got that in us. So to see that she did not shoot the guy, I don't forget his name, but the master's son, to let him know, like, you don't have no control over me no more, and I'm not stupid or dumb or not naive, or you're not in control, and try again another lifetime, but not this one. This one is over. So you die here. Okay? You're gonna die here. I'm not gonna kill you. You're gonna die here, and you're gonna sit here and think about everything you've done. But peace out, homie. That's exactly what I heard in so many words. And then there was another part where she was talking to her mom at the end, bringing her mom over and telling her how everything is going to be when they get free, and how she's going to spoil her, and how everybody's going to be together. The brothers are going to be in the same house. Everybody going to be under one roof, and how they going to just be together. That made me cry because, of course, my mom isn't here. But how family should be like that. We should all sit together for a cause and not kick everybody out. You know what I mean? Like, why do people kick people out? Doesn't matter how old people are. Let's stay together until things get right. And of course, you want to, if you want to be out of the house, you do your thing. But stick together. That's what family's for. So that was a touching moment for me. And I ain't gonna forget that one. So what I learned from Harriet Tubman movie as a Black American today, a Black American woman, is that we still face some of those same things in many different names, in different settings, but the same thing. The things I learned from this movie as a woman of God is to continue listening to my spirit, continue to listen to the guidance, continue to walk in my faith, and continue to trust God. This movie had so much of it for me. It was on time for me. And I'm grateful to have watched this and got inspired. And not even inspired, it's not even a word to explain, but to know that I'm on course. And to know that no matter how hard I may think it is right now, it ain't nothing like how that was. Nothing. And I need to be more grateful. Every day. Every day. And to all my Black men, I hope you guys watch this movie because it shows that we still need you guys. We need you. We need you guys to be there for us. We need you guys to cover us. We need you guys to help lead us. We need you guys to allow us to let our gifts from God spill out and let us do our job and our work for the world. We need y'all. We need y'all support. We need y'all to love on us. We need y'all. We don't need y'all to leave us. We don't need y'all to not stick up for us. We need y'all to be right here with us and get this family together. So that's to the Black men. So what I want to say to my women, my Black women especially, we are strong. We don't have to change who we are as a person inside and who we should be as a characteristic or as a personality outside to everybody else. Everything that's in us is in us from God, and we are who we are because of Him, and that's what He created us to be, and that's what He needs us to be, is to be us, our authentic selves. I don't care how much of this is there. We got that for a reason. And we gonna be the best. We always been the best. In this movie, it showed that she was so, like, for them to not think of slaves as nothing, they thought of her as something. Because they took 15, 20 people out to go find one. Like, just let them go. But that's how valuable we was back then, and we still that times 1,000 trillion right now. So to all my Black women, all my Black girls, we are bomb, okay? We are phenomenal. We have so much in us that the world needs. So we cannot stop doing what we've been doing and put the pedal to the metal and even push it even more. And let's show the world. I really appreciate your time watching all the way through. I know it was longer than I personally expected. I know I probably left a lot of stuff out, but of course I don't have a full hour to go over the whole movie, which if I did, I would. But I just wanted to capture a little bit of things in here, just to get some people out there to go watch it. And hopefully you feel the way I feel. And not even that, hopefully you get inspired the way you need to be inspired. Maybe it's not Harriet that would inspire you. Maybe it's somebody else that inspires you in this movie. This movie was phenomenal. The director, everybody on this film did an amazing job. And I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart, because I have been inspired as a Black woman, a Black American, and to just keep going and not give up. And no matter how much we are pressed with, when it comes to just because of the color of our skin, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It makes us stronger. And it will make the generations to come even stronger. So, on that note, I am done. I am gone. So thank you guys for watching tonight. Yeah, and I'll see you guys soon. So